These shoes have taken me 955 miles. But I think it's time to retire them finally after basically getting these holes up the side here, the front, holes in the front. But yeah, that's what a pair of shoes looks like after almost 1,000 miles. This is where I camped last night. That's middle sister on the left there. And that's the south sister. And so I camp right there. And watched the sunset out over that peak and through the clouds last night. It was pretty spectacular. Clouds were kind of coming in like waves almost. This is stream leading up to Obsidian Falls, and there's just black obsidian everywhere. It's just volcanic glass. It's beautiful. It just kind of glimmers in the sun. Yeah, so you can kind of see it. It's everywhere. One interesting thing that I found is these lupine flowers. They're all over the place. I remember seeing them when I was in Iceland, but after they bloom, then they start to produce these, look like little bean seed pods. Yeah. So that's the north sister. The Three Sisters Wilderness. So, slowly going by each of them, and they're all surrounded by all kinds of volcanic rock. And just went through the obsidian area, and then that's the next volcano in the chain, Mount Jefferson. So I'll be going by that in the next couple days here. This is looking south back onto North Sister and Middle Sister. Basically, since I came around the north side of it, I've been running into all kinds of lava fields. So it's going around all these little cinder cones at the base there. There's a glacier up inside there too, but it's pretty cool from this vantage point because you can see how the lava just sort of flowed down the side of the mountain. Same thing over here. Just just oozes down. And then this side's the same thing. But yeah, it's interesting walking through it because everything is basically these broken up stones, which isn't the most enjoyable to walk on, but I guess as the lava flows down the side of the mountain and then it solidifies, and as it cools, I guess it contracts and basically breaks up into all kinds of small little stones. So, but yeah, oh, pretty cool. 2,000 miles. That's pretty crazy to just contemplate, but really shows you what you can do when you put your mind to something, you commit yourself to it. But another 650 more to go. Here's three-fingered Jack. I'm assuming the three fingers are those little spots there, but pretty cool. Here's Mount Jefferson. I'm gonna try to hike up somewhere along the base there and find a spot to camp this evening. So. This is a pretty incredible view of where I've come from. So this is Three-Finger Jack that I came around this afternoon, and I started the day way over at Mount Washington, that peak right over there. That's where I camped. And then the day before, I basically came up over the volcanic range over there, and I started it over by the Three Sisters down that way. That's the North sister, middle sister, and the closest to me there. And then the day before that, my friend from high school dropped me off at the trailhead. But last 3 days prior to that, I basically got sucked into a vortex in Bend, Oregon, which is down over here, I believe, somewhere over there. And yeah, that was pretty nice just to chill and relax. Last time I took a day off was the beginning of July in South Lake Tahoe, so that was a nice break, but pretty incredible up here in Oregon. Love you guys. Bye. Huckleberries. These guys are in the blueberry family, and they are delicious. Just trying to pop up everywhere. So one cool thing to note about designing these trails is that they typically lead down into a valley, like a arroyo, and then you come back up this way. And we do that because it sort of minimizes the erosion that occurs when in winter when all this starts to flood through. And so, yeah, just minimize the amendment is what we have to do on the trail. There's Mount Jefferson. That's on the north side of the mountain. That's this side. Our camp last night. This side's all burnt. I'm gonna try to make it through this burn zone today. About 28 miles, but I'll get there. Love you guys. Bye. Here's the north side of Mount Jefferson, and I just hiked around the west side of the mountain down to the valley down there, and then up here, which was about 2,300 feet, and just got up to this ridge you can see north, and that looks like Mount Hood off in the distance there. So I'll be heading to Timberline Lodge in the next couple days here. So almost to Washington. Love you guys. There's O'Leary Lake. So I'm going to the north end of that. And then I'll continue on to Mount Hood off the background there. Unfortunately, everything's burnt down around here, but still beautiful. There's Mount Jefferson, where I came from. This is O'Leary Lake. I guess it was built in 1932. And honestly, of all the places that I've come across on the trail so far, this is kind of my favorite. It's really unassuming and charming. Even if everything around here is burnt down, it's still got a beauty to it. It's Mount Jefferson over there in the distance. That's where I came from yesterday. And you can rent these little boats if you want. Cabins right here. And you got this little general store, lake resort. And yeah, it's simple. I don't really have power here. They don't have internet. It's a little bit of a time warp. And it's nice. It's not like the other resorts where you feel like you gotta spend money and just make it these commercial hours. This is just, it's simple. Look at that view. It's a stunning peak. So that's where I camped out last night. Right underneath Mount Jefferson. If you're ever in the area, I recommend it. Even if it's all burnt down, there's just something special about this place. noticing is when the leaves are green, huckleberries seem to be a little more tart. But when you find them on a bush more like this, where they're a little more red, yeah, they're a little sweeter. Yeah, they are delicious. I think just eating these things might tack on a few days to my through-hike, because I just gotta stop and eat these things. I don't know if the other hikers are stopping and doing it, but I tried. So the other thing with the huckleberries is, I guess the bears eat these things, so I mean, they need thousands of calories a day, but I can only imagine them just cruising along, just chowing down on these things. I mean, that's a pretty good life. There's Mount Hood. And I'm guessing that's probably Timberline Lodge is somewhere over there. There's the top of Mount Hood. I just came out of the trees and there it is. I've got another probably 1,000 feet to get up to Timberline Lodge. And fingers crossed, I heard they do screenings of The Shining there, because I think they filmed the exterior of the hotel here, so. But 1,000 feet in sand. That should be fun. But it's worth it. Love you guys. Bye.
Explain that our season here runs from May 15th to October 30th. Then we close down completely until the following May.
Do you mind if I ask why you do that? Seems to me that the skiing up here would be fantastic.
Here's Johnny.
So right now I'm going along Eagle Creek here on the left, and these waterfalls around here are stunning. I can't imagine what they looked like earlier in the spring when there's a lot more water, but still beautiful, but not a fire. Everything, all the way up the hills, everything's been burnt again. Except down by the river, down here. It's pretty far down. What a spectacular day it is. I love you guys. I can tell I'm gonna like Cascade Locks because, once again, the trail is lined with blackberry bushes. Almost there. Like 2 miles. Off to see the wizard, wonderful Wizard of Oz. Dun, 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 dun. California and Oregon done. On to Washington. Love you guys. Bye. we just crossed over into Washington and the ferns are starting to explode. It smells, the air is like this sweet, fresh scent. God, I love this place. There's Mount Hood and Table Mountain. And this morning I came out of Cascade Locks, which is down by the Columbia River, down the gorge down there. That's the river down there. And definitely a long, hot hike up and out. So, but hanging in there. I like it when these little guys sing to me. I love you. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, hey, there. Yeah, right. Hey there. Can I come on by? That's Mount Hood down to the south of me. And that's the Columbia River Gorge with all the clouds up and over the river there. And I'm heading north towards Mount Adams today. This is where I camped last night, on top of this ridge. There's Mount Adams. I'm gonna be heading to the south side there in the next day or two. Get some supplies at Trout Lake and then I'll continue north. So right now I'm just north of the Columbia River, heading towards Mount Adams, and it's pretty cool walking through this area because you can tell it's an old volcanic lava field. Kind of similar to what I hiked through around Three Sisters. But this is definitely a lot more grown over and lush. A lot more water up here. But yeah, just kind of dipping and diving. Thankfully a lot easier on the feet to walk on. But yeah, heading north. Loving Washington so far. I think I'm going to turn into a huckleberry. Just consuming these guys so much. But they're so delicious. I mean, they're everywhere. Not the best place to hike. Here's my first sighting of Mount St. Helens. Right through the trees there. That's definitely one of my first memories, was seeing the debris, everything blown over after that thing exploded. Indian Heaven? That's a questionable name for a trail. It definitely feels like heaven here, though. That's my finger.
Did you?
No. It's usually like the first place I would go if it was like, you know, when you can't buy anything. It's like,
Not used to, yeah.
That's Mount St. Helens. That was one of my earliest memories as a kid. I was going there. It was probably about a year after it erupted, and I just remember the destruction around it. Trees just blown over as far as you could see. About 43 years later, here I am looking back on it. Now through a burn zone, which gives it its own sort of character that reminds me of that time. But pretty incredible. That's an interesting transition in the geology. Like a volcanic rock to almost like a slate. Wow.
But a weekend, like centuries all the time.
This is definitely a new one. The bridge is folded in half, but
Probably make sense.
yeah, good job. Yeah, these beauties.